Bradford Cohen decided he wanted to speak about Lil Durk's trial, but he's missing a couple of things that I think we should point out just to settle some people's minds at ease because everybody's hollering, Durk's done, Durk's done, Durk's done.
All right, let's talk Lil Durk and Lil Durk update. He's a rapper that was charged in California federal court with a murder for hire case. They have superseded the indictment. Of course, that's what the feds do. They love to try and screw you. And they superseded the indictment 2 months prior to trial. His attorneys filed some very good motions to see if they can get the matter dismissed, which usually doesn't happen, but to see if they can get some traction on the fact that they filed a superseding indictment 2 months prior to trial. These two guys allegedly have taken a plea, according to my mixtapes and a couple other outlets. And by the way, just for future reference, a guy that looks like this, he's snitching on you. So keep that in mind.
The sponsor of this video is Cloaked. And there are a lot of people who are wondering why I'm going so hard to go with Cloaked and push it and everything. I want to share with y'all something that happened to me on March 7th of this year, right? And what happened was, and this is all real, this is literally out of my damn inbox. They put up my social, they put up my full name, they put up my birthday, they even put up every number I ever had and every address that I ever freaking lived at. These are real text messages, by the way, sent via goddamn Instagram. So when you see me go hard for coke, understand, I didn't know how they got that info. That's the second time in 5 years that people try to extort my personal info. First time I voted, second time I just said do what you're gonna do. Please don't be like me. Try Cloak today. They give you 30% off with that QR code, or tap the link in the description, or hit the pinned comment. See what data brokers sold your info today. Just take the challenge. If you don't like it, hey, don't sign up. Just see what info they have. That's all I'm asking. Try Cloak today. Here's what we'll keep in mind. The actual factuals, the actual facts of what happened and what didn't happen. And here's what we all need to understand. If the feds had to nail in the coffin like they believe they had, wouldn't the state of Illinois have thought the same thing? Wouldn't the feds in Illinois have thought the same thing? Wouldn't it be a whole nother murder for hire that would have happened any damn ways? Just saying, R. Kelly had 3 freaking federal charges that stem from Minnesota, goddamn New York, and Illinois. Damn near all the same thing. So I'm trying to understand, how is it that the California feds are doing so much better than the Illinois feds? We ever gonna get a chance to, we doing that here. Welcome to the Hood Lawyers channel. The issue that nobody wants to address is the fact that the Illinois feds had this whole entire thing. And not only did they have the whole entire thing, they even said, we don't have enough here to charge him. What the feds in California are trying to do is say, see, he has a proximity to all this stuff. They're trying to do what we call death by 1,000 cuts. This is one of the dirtiest things that the feds are doing. It just is what it is. This does not mean that Lil Durk is fried. There is nowhere that you're going to find that, hey, man, it's on camera that Lil Durk gave these cats any money, that they specifically got money from Lil Durk and all this shit. Lil dude, if y'all go read the freaking indictment, which we already done, the little dude say, hey, did OTF give you any money? He like, man, listen, we trying to get paid and he went over there and got some bread, but we don't know none of this shit. There's no proof that Stephon Mack killed D-Thing. The alleged story is that the reason why Buddy is dead is because Lil Durk had a bounty on him. But nowhere do you see Lil Durk made a payment to anybody. Even in the freaking indictment, the indictment does not have anywhere where it says, man, Lil Durk gave this person that, Lil Durk gave this person this, and all this shit and everything. Then what they never reveal, aka the feds, they don't reveal whole entire text threads. They nitpick for a reason. But I want Bradford Cohen to finish out because he just talking just to talk. He ain't did no goddamn research in this because he can't. He's a busy freaking lawyer. But let's get on to the second part of this. Roll it.
And we will see how that affects the case. You know, just because guys flip and they start snitching, it doesn't make it better in terms of, oh my God, this is a smoking gun. Certainly it doesn't help the case, but they still need to establish the case. They need to establish through certain evidence. They need to establish phone records and movements and discussions. And allegedly, Lil Durk isn't on any of those discussions or any of those phone records or anything like that. So these two guys, which do not look like the pillar of the community testifying against you, is not the end-all be-all. I've had plenty of cases where people flipped and started snitching and I destroyed them on the stand. And they just didn't hold any water. So we're going to be following this one pretty closely.
Who is we? Who is we going to be following this one pretty closely? If you paid attention to anything, you would have known that the Fed's story is that Lil Durk showed up to $1 million worth of game with money in his hand.
Where we at, y'all? Tay-Town, and he brought $1 million.
Pull $1 million to the trenches, man. $4 million worth of game. So now I'm from Chicago.
And essentially, Lil Durk was kicking it, and one person that was a part of the Stephon Mack murder was there. That's the story, Bradford. You would know that if you subscribe to the channel. But I digress. The issue that everybody should have watching this, and the number one question everybody should have watching this is, what happened to the money? If it's shown that Lil Durk withdrew the money, Lil Durk put all the money back, then what? Because in the second superseding indictment, SSI, right? Because I get that check every month. They say Lil Durk and them, they had bounties on mother freaking O Block members and all of this shit. And why would the feds put that out? Why? Why would the feds put out that the man who was in a relationship with Lil Durk's deceased brother, he was one of the ones that would have got blasted? Why would they do that? If I put that drop of confusion in there and I drop that bit of confusion while people are grieving and people are pissed off, some people may go, you know what? F Lil Durk. I don't give a damn about him. We gonna cross major lines. Because you said, why ain't O Block stepping? Why ain't O Block spinning? Why ain't none of this shit? All right. And the feds have the number one motive. The number one motive for the feds is to say, this was all done for King Von. Everybody say slide, slide, slide. But forget to remember and forget to mention, Lil Durk says in countless songs, y'all want us to do all this dumb shit that we ain't doing. If we slide, y'all gonna call us stupid. If we slide, we gonna sit up here and get caught. So what's the point of sliding? And once again, I'm only saying Lil Durk is innocent. There are too many individuals who are taking what I'm saying and applying it to all the guys. I'm not doing that. The evidence that they have is completely, utterly strong against everybody else. They just want the money. And you know they want the money because when the judge was ready to grant Lil Durk a bond, he said, this ain't enough money. So I'm trying to understand, and maybe y'all can help me understand because at times I really don't understand. What did we see in this last filing by the feds? The feds essentially said there's multiple snitches in the case, but no snitches in this case that we're charging with any of this shit. They talked about the robbery gone wrong between, and I can say it is what it is because he's no longer here, between Bezu and somebody else. With Durk and Von just being there and leaving once Bezu crashed out in front of everybody. Shout out to my evil twin, but nigga, you put two people, really three people, in a predicament of shit that they had nothing to do with. This was between two people and nobody else. But because niggas didn't want to run their mouth, they didn't want to tell, they didn't want to snitch, they didn't want to do all of that stuff, that's where they ultimately failed. Here's what it is. Street code is street code. That's why you seen Von beat the case first. Then you see Lil Durk beat the case first. You never seen hella bands get beat up and pulled in shit. And you seen goddamn Bezu beat the case last months afterwards. When those facts come out, what do you think the feds are going to do? You think the feds are going to apologize? No, the feds are going to go like this. Hell yeah, we put this in front of the jury. See, the feds know that the murder for hire on Quando Rondo, that shit is weak. So they have to include all these other acts of whatever the hell, not knowing that King Von was a gregarious individual. He had a lot of homeboys. So it could have been anybody. But the fact that we all, quote unquote, BDs and from a particular side of town and all of this shit, it all has to be intertwined. With the shooting happened with Quando Rondo, you're only going to see two people that say, we shot up that shit, we got caught, we was sliding for Von, and yeah, there were some people around Durk who said, shit, do what y'all gonna do. As though they're trying to articulate that Durk knew that this shit was gonna happen. He was supposed to just go, oh man, nah, don't slide, don't do anything. You're going to see that there is months and months and months of inactivity from Lil Durk from even seeing all of this shit. This is a text thread of 9 people, sometimes 11, sometimes 12, sometimes 6. And on top of that, when they say, hey, delete y'all shit, but hit the edit, do all of this stuff and do all that, it's not Lil Durk who told Bezu to do that shit. Bezu did the shit on his own. That doesn't make you responsible. Now, some of y'all will go, man, Nash, you just freaking riding for Durk and all this shit and everything. And I would tell you, you are right. If you think that Ceddy Nash is actively supporting Lil Durk and all of this shit and all that, I am. We'll call it out. Only because one of us has to tell the story. Some of us cannot be the propaganda pusher for the feds, for the state, for law enforcement, essentially. Some of us can't. There are rappers who I've said, and y'all see it on the freaking Big Bang interview on Friday, there are rappers who I've said are absolutely fried like a goddamn skillet. They're not getting out. But when the facts of the matter come out for Lil Durk and this trial proceeds, you'll see it really ain't that bad. Now, for everybody else, y'all better be ready to sign a plea deal. But other than that, I gave y'all the factuals. It's up to you if you accept it or not. But subscribe, turn on bells to notify, and share to keep y'all people aware. Y'all like the new setup, man? Y'all like the new setup? I just took the interview money that we got, man, and just invested in this shit. Said, F it. It is what it is. So if you want to, man, subscribe, turn on bells to notify, and share to keep your people aware. Let your thoughts be heard in the comments on how you feel about what I'm saying. If you disagree, you disagree. If you agree, then you agree. If you can point out anything that you think that I missed, point it out. It's fair, square, obvious, and honest over here, man. But click right here, though, to see how... Hold on, what we got here? I think it's a Lil Durk shit that I did last. It has to be. Yeah. Anyways, click right here to see that indictment that we're talking about, because I didn't really go into terms about it. I just broke down the indictment. Click right here for that indictment, or click right here for the playlist, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Y'all come back now, you hear?